Hello everyone, I'm your hostess with the mostest 8-second gaming, and in today's video we are going to be talking about the 5 best tips that you need to know in Season 19 in order to help you rank up. Some people are still looking to hit those peak ranks, so don't worry, I've got you covered. But just quickly, if you guys are really looking to take your Apex skill to the next level, then you need to check out the GameLeap website right now. Over there, we have top level coaches, including myself, creating the best, most highly informative guides to make you the best player you could possibly be. We have legend guides, gun guides, VOD reviews, and much more, covering every single situation you could possibly find yourself in. So click the link in the description, pick yourself up a membership, and start to improve today. But okay, with that out of the way and covered, let's move straight into tip number 1, and this is going to be the hidden MMR system. Now, this has been in the game for a couple seasons now, but some people are still struggling to understand what this really means and how it does affect them in the long run. In the simplest terms that I can put this in, basically you have a second rank along with your actual rank, and this second rank is hidden. Based on your performance in your games, you will be matched against people of similar skill level. And when I say similar skill level, I don't mean your actual rank. So if you're in silver but you're doing really well, you could potentially be placed against people that are in gold, platinum, diamond, or even masters. Like, for example, I've been really loving this Post Malone event, so I haven't really been grinding ranked as hard as I usually do. I've been playing that a lot. But when I do play in ranked, I am in gold, but I still play against masters and pred lobbies. Because my skill rating is so high, it doesn't matter that I'm actually in gold because the game wants to put me against similar skilled players. The system Respawn put in doesn't want me to be in actual gold lobbies because they know I'm not a gold player, so they want gold players that are actually actual gold players to not have to deal with me. It is a sort of way to combat smurfing and make the game a little bit more enjoyable for some people that are in those skill levels. Now, this is an annoying system because it does really not make any sense to have a hidden MMR system inside a system that actually has an MMR. Like, why give somebody a hidden skill rating when there's literally a skill rating on screen? If you're in gold, you can tell you're in gold, just put them against gold players. But when you guys are dealing with this in your games, you have to always keep in the back of your mind, even though it says you are in one rank, you might be fighting against players of other ranks. And that should drastically change your decision making because some players might be, say, in silver, and their thought process would be, okay, well, normally I wouldn't be able to get away with this, but because I'm in a silver lobby, I should be able to get away with this. But because of the hidden MMR system, you're not in a silver lobby. You're most likely in a platinum, diamond, or masters lobby. So you won't be able to get away with kind of a risky play because these players will know how to counter it. So whenever you die, or whenever you're looking at the banners around the map or looking at the champion squad, always pay attention to what kind of badges they have on. See if you can get any information on what kind of lobby you are actually in and use that information to your advantage so that you don't throw yourself out of position or do anything risky to get yourself killed. But that is tip number 1 done, so let's move straight into tip number 2, and that is you need to match your team comp to the map. With these rotating maps, there are going to be more effective team comps that are better at certain times because they do better on different maps. For example, Olympus is a very open map. There's a lot of sniper lanes, there's a lot of open sight lines that people can punish you on, so characters that are better in those open situations are going to be more favorable on that map. Somebody like a Bangalore who can cut off line of sight, or even a Newcastle who can slam down and give you cover. And on the flip side, characters that don't do well in the open are not as good on Olympus. A character like Caustic, who wants to actually get into a building and set up, is not going to be as effective on Olympus because there's not as many places for him to anchor down. Whenever you get on to play ranked, it doesn't matter if you're in a 3-stack, a duo, or even solo queuing, you have to pick the right character in order to match the map to give you the best chance of actually climbing. Figure out the kind of pros and cons that go along with the map and pick your character accordingly. And trust me, you will see better results because it's going to put you in better situations. But this also does lead directly into tip number 3, and that is to pick a team comp that fits your playstyle. Now, it's not only important to pick a team comp that matches the map, but also to pick a team comp that matches your playstyle so that you actually have characters that back up the kind of things that you want to do. Now, there are 3 main playstyles in ranked. You have zone, you have edge, and you have hybrid. And all 3 of these playstyles have different team comps that work better for those ideas. Different legends do better in different situations. It's just how the game is made. If you're trying to play edge, edge is typically highly aggressive and you want to get into as many fights as you possibly can. You're not going to want to play a legend who wants to sit in zone and anchor down a spot on an edge team comp. Again, I'm going to kind of pick on Caustic here, but Caustic is not a good edge character. Yes, he is good in fights, but he's more effective when he's locking down a spot for you and your team to play. Now, if you have no idea what kind of playstyle you have in ranked, then we do have a great video breaking down each different ranked playstyle so you can figure out what best fits you. And in that video, I also do give a recommended team comp to help you kind of get some ideas for it. Once you kind of figure out what kind of playstyle you want to have, you start throwing legends in that really back that up, you will see that you'll have a lot better results because the legends actually synergize with what your game plan is. Synergies are a huge thing in Apex, so use them to your advantage. But that's tip number 3 covered, so let's move straight into tip number 4, and that is to not get too greedy. Now, yes, I understand Apex is a battle royale, you want to get into fights, you want to shoot people, but in ranked, it's more about the consistency of your climb. If you want to just shoot people, go into pubs, run at every single sound you hear. But ranked, it's about smashing every single little bit of knowledge that you have together and being the best player you can possibly be. Everybody can run at every single gunshot that they hear, but it takes a higher skilled player to actually be able to know which fights are good to take and which fights are not good to take. And just because you don't take a bad fight doesn't mean that you're a bad player. It means you are a smart player. Because the other teams that didn't back off from that fight, even though it's a horrible fight, are more than likely going to get 3rd, 4th, 5th partied, die, lose RP, and continue to be hard stuck because they refuse to understand what a bad fight is. And yes, I do understand that kill points are important. You want to get as many kill points as you can so you can climb faster and get better results. But let me return a question to you. If you die getting those 3 potential kills, is it really worth it? No, it's not. The one thing that I love to say to people is ranked is a marathon, not a sprint. You have the entire season to climb, and if you actually want to hit a new peak rank, then you need to be consistent. Because yeah, it might work out one time and you might drop a huge game where you got a lot of kills and a win, but the next game you try to run at a fight, you die, you lose a lot of points. The next game you run at a fight, you die, you lose a lot of points. If you continue that cycle, then you're going to get a huge boost of RP, lose it all in the next couple games, and then repeat the cycle over and over, giving you the illusion that you are hard stuck. Once you start to get the information and knowledge in your head of what is a good fight and what is a bad fight, based off of your own gameplay and experience, then you will see that your climbs are a lot easier because you're getting more RP in the long run. That's the type of thing you need to keep in the back of your mind when you're playing Apex because it will save you from those headaches that you get when you lose a bunch of RP. And I think we've all been there where we lose a bunch of RP back to back to back and we start to tilt, and that's going to lead you to lose even more RP because now you're playing tilted and you just want to run at everything even more. It's a bad cycle. Don't even start it. Don't get too greedy. But now we can move into tip number 5, and this is putting yourself in the best possible spots. And at first hearing this, some people might assume that I'm talking about putting yourself in the best end game spots so you have the best chance of winning the game. And yes, that is part of it, but it is not all of it. When I say that you need to be putting yourself in the best spots possible, that goes for the entirety of the game. So I mean, from the moment you get into the drop ship to the moment that the game ends, you are always going to have to be re-evaluating what the best spot is, because Apex is ever changing. New stuff is going to be popping up all the time. Teams are going to be dying, teams are going to be pushing stuff, the ring's going to be changing, your loadouts are going to be changing. No 2 Apex games are ever the same. So just because something worked one time doesn't mean it's going to work another time. So you have to be constantly evaluating what's going on in your game to put yourself in the best spot for that given moment. And when I say it's through the entirety of the game, guys, I literally mean the entirety of the game. Picking the right drop spot, picking the right rotations, picking the right fights, picking the right end game positions, picking the right teams to try to push and focus in the end game positions. There's so many things that happen in any given moment in an Apex game, so you constantly have to be thinking about what is the best possible spot. And I sound like a broken record here, but I'm really just trying to hammer it home into your head so you're constantly remembering that whenever you're playing. I'm hoping if I say it over and over and over, it will really register and kind of be stuck in the back of your mind so that whenever you're in an Apex game, you hear me saying that in your head. Think about the best possible spot. Is this the best possible spot? What's the best possible spot? Because you need to be asking yourself that constantly. And if you're not going to ask yourself that, well, I'm going to ask it for you. And if you guys have any more questions about rank climbs, come check out one of my Twitch streams sometime over on twitch.tv/8secondgaming. I'd be more than happy to answer some questions over there. And if you guys want to stay up to date with the latest and greatest Apex Legends tips, tricks, and news, don't forget to smash the like and subscribe button. Thanks all for watching once again to 8 Second Gaming, and I'll see you guys in the next one.